Today, it's the ChillPoint 2025 quiz. Everybody ready?
Was I supposed to study?
So
I was not warned of this.
How are you doing?
Stressed.
Oh, good. Yeah, pop quizzes all of a sudden in their 40s. It's like nobody was expecting that.
No, that how are you doing was the one question.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good.
You passed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You are clearly stressed and anxious, and I am just I'm completely chill.
You know, it's 2026. It's time to start over.
I'm just like, it's just like university for me. It's like, I'll pass this test. Somehow, I'll pass it. I'll pass it.
No, I was definitely a last minute crammer.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, it worked really well.
Mm-hmm. I realized that all you had to do was just get through the class and get out the other side of it. If you just like, you know, if I got a 5, that's fine. A 4 was a pass in a Stay 9 system. 4s are passes. So
I was gonna say, what is it? What are we marking out of? 10?
Yeah, out of 9.
Oh,
Yeah, 4 out of 9 is a pass, which is 44%.
Yes.
That
we
should
went
not
to
be a pass.
a thing that did that.
this was not a math class.
This is not a math. This is no. They were like, we're fine with this.
Did you not
It's like,
have classes that were like you have to get at least this high because you need to take the next class?
it was modified. It was on a modified curve. So it was like this weird thing of it was like a curve where it's like, oh, we take all of your scores, we put them along the distribution, but then they would also be like, but there's a minimum level where if you've actually shown this kind of achievement, then we're gonna move everything slightly to kind of fit whoever fits the, you know, that you would have gotten the 4 out of 9.
Oh,
or whatever,
okay. So
passed
it's
the
not one of
class.
those things where if you're on a curve, like so many people are definitely failing.
Yeah, no, they were like, if everybody in class is showing enough achievement that they're actually be like, you all passed the class, so everybody gets out of this class. That's great. It wasn't like we throw away like the bottom 10% of you because get fucked, that's why. They're like, no. Everybody who, if you did well enough to pass the class, you all pass the class. Your grade curves will undergo a bit of a weird distribution as a result. But also, you know, if everybody in class got 100%, they wouldn't be like, well, some of you got 100% more than the others. They wouldn't have done that. It'd been like, we have to make this suit what you had actually scored.
I think mine was on the 4.0 scale of
whatever. You were in a standard GPA.
And they gave us percentages for our class scores.
Yeah.
And you had to most of my classes, except for like the last few that you finish, you had to get C's in order to get into the next class.
C's get degrees.
So we most of us in class were like, oh, if you didn't get a C, you just failed. Like at this point, you're just making the failure point a different one.
Yeah. And I will also argue I have a business degree, and I like to joke that it's like that kind of situation, you know, nobody has to work that hard to get a business degree. Also, I don't think that's true at all. I think there's a lot of people that did work quite hard to get their degrees. So I'm like, it's an easier degree to get than like med school, but also it's not like everybody cruised through those courses.
I was gonna say, as the business manager for Boundary Trousers Media.
Yep.
I hope your degree wasn't that easy.
It wasn't that easy, no.
Did you have to wear suits and stuff?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
No.
Because at the agricultural school that I went to take costuming, which was underneath the business section, all the other business students had to wear suits and stuff for their later classes.
No. You could tell that we were an actual proper university because everyone came to school in pajamas.
I was kind of hoping you were for the agricultural school that all the farmers had to come. All had to come to class in suits.
No, I think they came in denim and actual field gear because most of them went out into the field for a lot of their practical classes.
It's true, yeah.
Some of them were up at 6 a.m. They had to do stuff with horses, like
bringing extra jeans. Yeah,
you didn't wear suits to that. That would be improper.
Also, I want to point out, Peach saying, "Why is 44% of our money missing?" as a reference to like, how did Beach do in his thing? It's like you don't want to hire a guy who was top of his class in business because that's how you lose most of your money, because they know how to hide it. Hire a guy who didn't do so well. He just knows how to keep everything working.
And afloat. Yeah, I suppose it's true.
He's hungry for his job, Paul. He really wants to keep this job for a very long time.
I'd like him to keep the job.
Please
Paul.
let me keep this job.
Or at least, keep him within the company if you're going to fire him from that position. I don't know who you're going to take over for it, but it's not going to be me.
Anyway, after that slightly existential terror detour,
Yep.
let's talk about some video game news.
I'm with it.
Because that's what this show is about. Where this is ChillPoint, where we're talking about the week's video game news, also the episode of Checkpoint. In this case, the episode of Checkpoint that went up this morning was our annual
It's the third time we've done
quiz. Yes, that makes it annual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the third time we've done it. So now you can kind of be like,
now it's a tradition.
you know what? It might be traditional now.
Excuse me.
And yeah,
Possibly.
so yeah, and thanks a lot to Kathleen for coming up with all the stuff for that. I mean, as she says in the, as she said, I think in the actual episode that because we brought in more writers, and Kathleen has moved to more of like an editing role rather than actually like writing the stories.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying that like coming up with the questions was actually a lot harder this time because you didn't have like just random bits of information of like, oh yeah, that happened last year. Oh yeah, that happened last year. I had to actually look things
Already
up.
having your prior knowledge makes things go a lot faster.
But anyway, yeah. So thanks a lot to Kathleen, and thanks a lot to Heather for putting that together, doing a lot more editing work than a regular
It's been a
Checkpoint
while
episode.
since I've done multi-camera angles and that kind of editing. So it was fun. It was nice.
That's good.
Next time, give me more time.
We could probably do that. But let's talk about some of the other things that happened this week. Now, it was mentioned in the Checkpoint quiz, but maybe we can just start with this, just to get out of the way, rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay.
That there's been some pretty crappy stuff in the first little bit of 2016.
2026?
2026.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
For
2016
one
was
thing,
also a weird
10
year.
years went by.
Yep. In a blink of an eye.
But also,
And also is the longest 10 years. Anyway.
but also, some bad stuff at the beginning of 2026. Obviously in a much larger scope, but we're talking about video game stuff. And already quite a few. There's been a couple of big studio closures. Meta closed down 5 studios. Ubisoft closed down the studio that coincidentally was also the studio that unionized.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. It was also the one in Canada, wasn't it?
In Halifax.
Yeah.
Halifax. I mean, Ubisoft is a bunch of Canadian studios.
Yeah, they got a Montreal one and everything. I think Montreal was their first one, wasn't it?
I feel very like we have studios too.
And from what I understand, the Halifax studio was one of their mobile developers.
I mean, a few less corporate mobile games in the world won't hurt the world overall, I think. But yeah.
Well,
I'd certainly rather, I mean, maybe they will be moved to other places, although I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, but in terms of news that isn't stuff being closed down, my Google Doc signed out.
mm-hmm. Traditional.
So yeah, some things don't change in
Some things
2026.
just don't change. It's figured it out. It's like, you moved to Fridays.
Yeah. For those who wonder, it's like, why wouldn't you just oh, that's fine. We also lost connection to the chat.
Oh, yeah,
just
they've
now.
been gone for a few minutes. I mean, I can kind of still see them on the laptop.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Oh,
Doing great.
doing great.
Technology is really coming to the fore here. So, I was gonna say, if you're gonna ask Paul, why wouldn't you just make sure you logged into your Google Docs when you start the stream? It's like he is logged into his Google Docs when he starts the stream.
Google Docs just randomly logs me out sometimes.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's the middle of the stream, which is when I normally log you out.
Yeah,
so
it's like how Windows always wants to do an update while you're in the middle of a stream.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like the last time you accessed this was a week ago, which means that I need to refresh my cookies from a week ago. Oh, look at that. It just happens to coincide with the middle of the stream.
Anyway. Speaking of some things that don't change. So Animal Crossing is a thing that is changing in the sense that the new update, the 3.0 update came out last week.
It's exciting.
And
if you still play Animal Crossing.
That's a bit of news, but...
They have a jump button now, Beach. It's amazing.
A jump button?
You can jump.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
You can strafe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That opens like a whole avenue. Like people were already making like mazes and cool little things.
They were spending a lot of time, I'm sure, talking with the people from Doom Eternal and being like, all right, so if we're going to do a crossover with you and Isabella.
We've got a circle strafe.
We got a circle strafe. We got to be able to rocket jump, and we'll start with the jump.
I got to make sure that I can... I think most of the updates work on the Switch 1. So I should be able to just play it.
But the angle on this that I really liked comes from Polygon.
Yeah.
And this sort of is more of like a discussion topic maybe than an actual piece of news, because the Polygon story is basically about the idea of is like Animal Crossing new update coming out. I should go check out my Animal Crossing island.
Right.
Because it's been fallow for a very long time.
Yep.
And then the process of going back and looking at your Animal Crossing island, which you made during the pandemic, and being like, oh, I was not okay.
Yeah. There have been some banger tweets from people, like lots of stuff where it's like, oh, I sealed Marshall inside of a little gulag with a big sign that said COVID-19 quarantine. It's like I was having some trouble.
Yeah.
See, in the newest Animal Crossing, because it literally does not make decisions without you anymore. It is more of a time capsule. If we were playing an older version, like even the 3DS version, if you come back after a long time like that, a lot of your island will have changed and moved on without you.
Like flowers will have wilted. There'll be more weeds.
Different people will have moved in and out. In the newer one, you pick where people's houses go, and in the older ones, they will just choose where to go. So if you had like a flower garden set up and a new house decides to move in, they might move it right in the middle of that.
So they may have like completely...
Like there's a very huge difference in the feel of this is a world that will move without any decisions you have, and this is just House of Dolls that you're playing God with.
Which to me, like,
interesting.
It definitely, like, I start to feel, now I understand why humans invented zoning. The idea of like, well, we want to say that it's okay to build your house here, because in Animal Crossing, I would want to be able to say, this side of my island, this entire side of my island, put your house wherever you want, wherever it fits. I don't care. But this side of my island, here there be dragons. Do not go fucking near that. I'm working on some shit. So
you've got kind of a one of those like NIMBY things going on,
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, I don't care what the house prices are. We're not developing this section.
Yeah.
This is for public use.
Well, the way I think about it, I'm kind of like, I want to build a walkable environment, and the best way to do that is to increase residential density. And then that way everyone's near because I have everybody kind of around where the visitor center is, the community center, which is of course where all the people with their wares show up to peddle them in the square. And Timmy and Tommy's place is not too far away from there. I should probably move it into that square as well, to be like, there, now you guys have a place to shop and everything else too. And then you do that, and the other parts of the island are left wild, to be more of like, this is a place for you to go like explore and to pick fruit and to have your outdoor activities, except for the fact that I mowed over half of my island down so I could build a giant rec center that for basically me to use because I can't do anything else with it right now. So
Yeah, like so.
So I basically mowed down all of my forests to make a massive commercial environment for a rec center. Yeah,
that no one else is allowed
no one else
to
is
use.
allowed to use.
In New Horizons, you're the island director. You can do everything. You can do terraforming. You can do everything you want. That's why I'm like, this is like a game where you get to be God essentially, because you can get villagers to move out. You can get them to move in. They will not leave without your permission. That kind of thing. In the 3DS version, that wasn't true, but you were the mayor of town, so you could kind of do some stuff. But you couldn't do terraforming because that was new on this one. And you could influence some stuff. But every game prior to that, you weren't like an authority. You were just another villager in this town.
What version do you like better? Like, do you like the absolute authority?
I started with I don't like Horizons as much.
Oh, really?
I think it's fine, but
you like stuff happening.
I enjoy the fact that if I come back in a year, because I'm just checking in on New Year's, that everything's a mess, which works out with my hair being a mess and I look like a trash goblin. I think it's great. I know that's not everybody's taste. That's fine. But I started with the 3DS version, so that's the one that like I really like more than the other ones, but I can see the appeal for other people who started with earlier versions where they're like, oh, the game's actually just a little bit more mean, and I enjoy that aspect of you have villagers who are just utterly grumpy.
I'm just though imagining you coming back to your island after a year, and then all the villagers are like, we don't know her.
Yeah.
Who is that? And it's like she was one of the first villagers here, and it's like she's like the old woman who lives in the haunted house. Like we walk by her place and hold our breath because we don't know if she can hear us, then she'll steal our souls. Like they think you're a weird goblin.
When you show up in the 3DS one, they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to be the mayor, huh?"
Yeah.
I haven't seen you.
We've never met you. It's like, that's fine. I never met my mayor living in Victoria either. So
yeah, but I mean, you only have like, it's meant to be a small village, right? You probably should have.
I want it to be like you come back after a couple of years and they've like built a statue of you, but that's like kind of off. And there's like stories about the things that you did, but they're wrong.
Ooh,
like
that would be fun.
like a whole sort of religions like cargo cult kind of thing has grown up. It's like if we all pray properly, maybe the God will come back and give us more bells.
Meanwhile, Isabel and Tom Nook are just like, just let him go, just let him have this. That's gonna make them happy. Otherwise,
There's a comic someone did when New Horizons was being announced that. Or maybe it was just like a couple years after New Horizons was out, where it was like, I think it was Isabel writing to the mayor or to be like, hey, like here's how stuff's going, and I know you're having fun on your like adventures, and the adventures that were being shown were like, oh, you're clearly playing a Zelda game and a Metroid game and like all these other things, and it's just like, it's actually heartbreaking because it's like, oh, I used to play Animal Crossing, but now I've abandoned it for all these other games. Which is funny. It's a game that's really meant to only be played like maybe 15-30 minutes a day after you start it up. That's like the intention. You're supposed to actually kind of run out of things to do and come back and do like a little bit at a time, because it's meant to be a game that if you don't have a lot of time to play video games, you can still kind of check in and do some stuff, but you could do more as well in the newer one because of like all the terraforming, so you could like get really deep into it.
I get that, but also I think the problem I had with that, I know we're going to talk about Animal Crossing for a while.
Yep.
The problem that I have with that idea when it comes to New Horizons is that loading up your island took a long time. Like to basically say, I'm going to start the game, and then you wait about like 30 to 40 seconds for it to load everything up, and then it's like boing, you hit the button. It's like another 15 to 20 seconds or so to get everything loaded up even more. If you're in your house, you got to leave your house, so like that kind of thing. And I was like, everything felt kind of slow versus if you were playing Animal Crossing on your DS, it feels like you get everything started in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're running around. It's like you don't feel like you're waiting and starting to feel like you're slowed down. So while you're in there trying to do things, you start to feel like, well, I better try to do as much as I can here today because I decided to sit down and play this way. And because that's how I treated it, was like, I got to turn on the TV and I got to turn the thing on and then I got to turn Animal Crossing on and I got to, whereas if I was just picking up my Switch and like, I just turn it on and, oh, Animal Crossing's still running. I just open Animal Crossing. I'm already in it, right?
Yeah.
But like, no, I turn everything off and I got to turn everything back on. It's like, I'm going through this ritual of about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes worth of stuff that I'm doing to get into playing it. And I'm like, if I'm going to devote the time and the waiting to start, that's where I'm like, I'm putting in more than 15 minutes today. I'm putting in like, I'm like going to play this for an hour or so. That's how it always treated. Like,
but
that's
like,
how I always treated it.
It's meant to be a thing of like,
yeah,
if you only have 15 minutes, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're still
you can still
getting
get some
your
stuff
stuff.
done.
You're contributing to this thing because you're constantly going there over and over. You are assimilating the idea of a community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bet on the Switch too it would load faster.
Oh, it does apparently, yeah.
Anyway, are either of you going to get back into it with the update? Apparently, a bunch of the new stuff is pretty cool. I mean, other than jumping.
I
The
will
like dream worlds are pretty neat.
I will probably try it on my Switch OLED, and leaving the Switch 2 open for Heather to have Animal Crossing on there if you want to give it a go, because you can only have one island per thing, and I don't think the Switch 2 has the smarts to be like, oh, I'll let you have 2 islands.
No, it's not going to do that.
Yeah, so I might try it out on my Switch OLED and just see like, okay, what is this new update like, and but I'm not like, I'm interested to see what it looks like, and I'll probably do it. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I haven't wanted to transfer my island over because I just don't know if I want to get into it again. Like I said, New Horizons is not. I play the 3DS one more. Every, like, not like a ton. But I do play it every so often because I like that one. It's my home.
Yeah.
My home Animal Crossing, and I like the fact that stuff can change without me.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I think it's a really cool update. Like I bring up the whole thing of like, oh, you can jump now, because like when they one of the updates they did a while back was that you could sit down on the ground.
Right.
And that was a huge deal to so many people, because now you could take your pictures of you actually sitting on the ground and do the picnic thing and like a bunch of other stuff, right? So now being able to just like jump, it doesn't sound like it should be a huge deal, but it really just is.
Fair.
Well, okay. I mean, moving on, 2026 is a very special year because it is the 5th anniversary of Sonic's 30th anniversary.
That's what I understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so Sega has announced some Sonic the Hedgehog 35th.
Oh, I see how they did that. That's very
celebrations.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool that they can add the 5 onto the 30 so that you know that it's his 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see somebody in Discord say, I could just be like, it's Sonic's 35th anniversary. If you say it fast enough, you can't tell that I didn't actually say
It
it.
just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
We definitely, so can we, when we make the new logo for the 30th, when you do talk about the 35th, can it say 30 plus 5?
I don't know how long I can keep this bit going for, because also I have to give a shit about continuing to talk about
Cartoon.
Yeah, it's showing all the different iterations.
this is everything that has happened up until now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, we got the movie and stuff in here.
Countless friendships.
Oh, right. I still need to.
So many
Ooh, that was the
random side characters.
afternoon cartoon.
All of this happened just in the last 5 years.
Made
I
in
don't
so
play
many
that many
styles.
Sonic games, and I have way too much nostalgia for this. This is not.
I like the way they made his legs look like the infinity symbol running. That was cool.
Oh, okay. That's from the open world game, and
Green's a good look.
I'm glad they used the Chaos Emerald.
Here's
I think that looks good.
As you might have noticed, that didn't actually say anything.
Nope. No, it's just we're happy that we haven't killed this character off. And why wouldn't you be?
No matter how we tried. They have said that they will be revealing partnerships, collectibles, fan experiences, and more throughout the year. They have not said that they're going to be revealing like a game.
Nope.
Yet.
That's okay. I mean, they're still going to make another game or two.
You have to, otherwise you lose your copyright.
Yeah.
It's like the Sony Spider-Man thing.
They should make more Sonic Boom. I find that show incredibly dull and yet so interesting at the same time. Make more of that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a here's the news. There's no news. It only really means something because of how long we've been keeping the bid going. So I'm glad.
Yeah. In other cross-marketing news, Amazon's Fallout series has been doing very well. Good. The second season is out now.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's got like 95 or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
Cool.
Like it's been doing very well. Apparently, in terms of viewership, the first season of Fallout is their second most viewed series, only being surpassed by the Rings of Power. Maybe it's just me, but I would suspect that the viewership for Rings of Power was very high and then dropped off rather precipitously.
Fair.
At least that was my experience. Whereas I quite enjoyed the first season of Fallout. I haven't watched the second season yet, but I quite enjoyed
it either.
Yeah, but the first one was really good.
Anyway, as a tie-in for that, Amazon is greenlit a Fallout reality show.
No.
Where contestants they're going to get 12. I don't know how many contestants. They're going to get a bunch of contestants and
extremely attractive people.
Put them in a vault, and then they will test. They will compete for prizes. And test the 7 core attributes of Fallout, which is like the special thing. Yeah. Strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck.
We will test your luck.
I mean, that's an easy one to test anyway.
Yep.
Do a lottery or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No one can die, because if they do, that's just a Danganronpa reality game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's... So presumably it's like Big Brother or something.
Yeah.
Except it's got like a set that looks like a vault.
And to be honest, like if I had to go spend like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever inside of like the vaults, like Vault 33 or whatever, like if I got to go do that as a thing, that sounds like it would be fun. If it was like a month, then I'm still a little antsy about that kind of thing. But because the look of it and all the stuff, and like, I mean, shit, if they made a vault experience as a hotel, and it was like, it's not like the Star Wars experience at Disneyland where it's like there has to be all these moving parts, but it's like, no, you come in and we give you boiler suits.
It's just like a themed hotel.
Yeah, it's like if you stay here, you're gonna have to.
That could be neat.
You know, we're gonna issue guys the vault suits and whatnot. You get to take those home if you want. You can that's part of the package of staying here. And everyone is just kind of like doing stuff and pitching in and just kind of having a good time. And there's like, yeah, you maybe fit a restaurant in or whatever anyway, but
and all the cool like sort of retro futuristic
stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like you're really just kind of here to do these things. We'll have the nights in the vault where we're like doing like, you know, group activities and stuff like that. Nothing terribly
Can it be a Fallout themed bed and breakfast instead?
Yeah.
So you can leave?
I just think it would be funny because when you say things like, oh, there's group activities, I think of like, oh, the community room that's
yeah.
Oh, you can go watch the Knights doing jigsaw puzzles.
But so, I mean, the first thing that I think about of this is of course, you know, the one of the sort of premises of Fallout is that the vaults are not, they're not all to protect people from nuclear war.
No.
Most of them are to conduct various experiments on different things. And there's all sorts of stories about that you encounter as you go through the game, either by reading things or you actually encounter that vault or through sort of environmental storytelling. But a vault in which a bunch of people went into the vault thinking that it was a reality show and then the vault was closed, like that's 100% something that would happen in the game.
Yeah. And given kind of the geopolitical situation that's going on right now, that if you put a bunch of people in a vault and about 3 or 4 days in, you actually have a stage moment where like, hang on, we have to lock this place down because there's something going on. And you just kind of lie to everybody and you kind of War of the Worlds it a little bit on them to be like, okay, there's some serious shit going on outside. We're just gonna kind of keep everything and then just keep the cameras running, right? To be like, we're gonna see what happens.
Again, that's you're just getting really close to Danganronpa.
Yeah.
So
we can actually run the Stanford Prison Experiment for real this time.
Oh, good.
Not just
good.
make up the results. We can actually do it for fucking real.
How about we don't?
Yeah. I mean, I think there is a vault in which like they had to vote somebody to get killed every once in a while.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, but the show seems good. This idea for a reality show. I mean, I have to say, as a concept for a reality show, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, I'm not that surprised.
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that that's a thing that they're gonna do. It's just when I think about it, I'm just like, I mean,
doesn't seem good, but I get it.
Do you watch any reality TV?
No.
I don't think I've even cared about watching the Survivor series or anything like that.
No, that's a different thing. Survivor series is a different thing than Survivor.
Is it?
Yes.
That was a WWE thing, wasn't it? Survivor Series.
Survivor Series is where you have 3 people on either side, 4 people on either side, and then they wrestle but you have to kind of pin as many as you can to let your side win.
All right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Watching the series Survivor.
The series Survivor.
Yeah, or Big Brother or any of the things that, like, when that was coming out, I actually didn't want to watch those because I saw what was kind of going on. I'm like, oh, that seems really interesting. And then I realized that, oh, this isn't about surviving on a desert island. This is about jumping through some jackass's hoops and then being mad at each other. I'm like, no, if you all ended up, 12 of you ended up on an island together, you would all help each other and try to like not die. That's what would happen, right?
Yeah, it's not like a simulation.
Yeah, but they're like, no, one of you is going to win $1 million, and I'm kind of like, you could just say one of you will be able to leave the island.
Yeah.
You could just say that,
even like,
and you'd have the same goddamn result. It's that everyone's going to fight with each other to try to win.
Those shows that are like, you don't wear clothes well, so we'll give you a bunch of money, and then we're gonna like dress you up and stuff. Like I had a friend,
what not to wear.
Yeah, what not to wear. I had a friend who liked to watch those shows, so I did see like a couple of them, and I got like the idea of why people like to watch those, but I still found them really
mean-spirited
because they're mean-spirited and they're meant to be like very dramatic, and I just don't care.
Yeah, and it's funny because there were some Canadian shows around the same time that launched that was like, oh, we're going to do like Arctic Survival Challenge or like these kind of things, and they were made into, we're going to send 6 of you or 10 of you out into the wilderness to survive. Well, what do we win? You get to survive. Like the whole point is you're going to work together and survive, and we're going to see how you guys figure out how to do that. And it's like, well, what do we all win? Well, you're all getting paid.
Yeah.
You're all going to get paid to be here. There's no prize. You're going to see if you can do it or if you can't.
Like there's those shows that are kind of like,
Don't
I don't
die.
know I don't know what Squid Games is like, because I don't know if that's more game show where like, because we've had those shows where it's like be the best ninja or whatever, where you're doing kind of weird obstacle courses and stuff.
Do you mean Squid Game the fictional series, or Squid Game the reality game show?
The reality game show
is meant to mimic the TV series, obviously.
Yeah,
and it is more of it's a competitive thing where you're eliminating people.
Right, so it's more of a game show than a reality TV show.
Yeah.
You aren't really like learning about.
I feel like sometimes they take the gimmick of a competitive show and turn it into a reality TV show.
Yeah. I mean,
so
it definitely
sometimes
goes
you get
both
like
ways.
a blurred line.
Yeah. Such a terrible thing that we call them, where it's just, oh, it's reality TV. It's like, it isn't though. It's all got structure and
it's
got a framework.
It's all made up.
Yeah, everything is.
It's
generated to.
It's more like negative improv. It's like, instead of
really
building
is.
people up and trying to like have trust and stuff on stage, you're literally trying to tear people down and do the most drama driven drivel you can think of.
Yeah.
And pit people against each other, and you will have directors come in and tell people to like, okay, I need you to confess here, and then the cuts are made in such a way to, even if you said things in a nice way, they will cut you to look threatening or like in other ways. So in a weird way, it's like it's a half scripted, half improvised mess. Makes a great setting for the mystery shows, though.
True.
It's true.
Those are fun.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what they want to do with it. But if it is like we have to cast you into the wasteland, because we were talking about Fallout Shelter, we have to cast you into the wasteland at the end of every episode. It's like, oh, that wasn't really what I was hoping that would be the idea. Because the whole point of the vault is that that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to like.
Yeah, this seems much more. This seems more Big Brothery. Yeah, it's like they're going to compete in a bunch of challenges and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but anyway, the next thing I have here is Monster Hunter Wilds. So,
the game we all forgot.
Yeah, the game that we forgot was in 2025. Very popular game.
Yeah,
but for some reason it seems like it's been around for longer than 2025, but anyway,
I think because it's Monster Hunter Worlds is before that, and it has a similar
Worlds
sound.
and Wilds, yeah,
that's fair.
But anyway, so this is sort of still unconfirmed, but a Reddit user called Die Timerlande did some experimentation and was having some severe performance issues on his Monster Hunter. He was having frame drops and stutters and all sorts of things. But then his friend logged in and it was fine on the same computer.
Okay, that's weird.
Is this that DLC thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, going back and forth between his account and his friend's account, he realized the only difference between them is that his friend has all the DLC and he doesn't.
Oh, so even on the same computer. Oh, wow. Okay.
And so his conclusion, and I don't think this is confirmed, this is what he is assuming is going on.
Yeah.
Is somehow the Monster Hunter is doing a DLC check over and over again, really so often that it's actually causing performance issues. It's actually causing, and so the more pieces of DLC you have, the less checks it has to do. Oh. So the better it runs.
Right. So if you have all the DLC, it'll run better. Wasn't there something about a mod being made to tell it that
you have everything?
So to kind of back this up, he made a mod that he's like, don't use, like, this was just for testing purposes. You probably shouldn't actually use this mod. Mm-hmm. It also doesn't give you the DLC. All it does is tell the system that you have the DLC, so it stops checking.
Right.
And sure enough, he's saying, rather than spending $500 on all the DLC to check the theory, he made a small mod for the game that makes it think all the DLC is present. This mod doesn't actually give the player the DLC, it doesn't pirate it, but it simply skips the DLC check. And he says, and yes, the performance went through the roof. Without any CPU boost, in balanced mode, or any settings changes, the game literally flies. So he's warned he doesn't recommend creating or using a similar a mod. It'll probably mess things up if it thinks it has you have the DLC.
Yeah.
But this is just for testing purposes. He says, I also want to state publicly up front, if Capcom don't fix this mess, I will see about finishing this mod, but it will be released strictly as an open source and won't be distributed in closed or encrypted binary form. And again, it's only a last resort option if Capcom ends up ignoring this issue.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems like because there have been a lot of complaints about performance issues in Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
So this seems like an easy win for Capcom.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have to say why. They're like, oh, we, those, you always see those updates that, general performance improvements.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the like, updates that are hidden, or the update notes are not very useful. They're just like stability and performance improvements, and suddenly it goes way better.
Yeah, that'll be what this is then too.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Also, I didn't realize that Monster Hunter had so much DLC. And maybe, this could be one of those things where, as they were testing it, Capcom tested it, they didn't have all that DLC. So it's like everything's fine.
I mean, there's
and
a
then
lot
they
of...
add more and more DLC as the game is out, and more checks and more checks and more checks.
Because I think Monster Hunter's got a number of like costume DLC things.
Right.
I don't know if they do like extra missions, or I feel like they probably have expansions and stuff. That sounds like something they could probably do, but I've only played like maybe an hour or two of one of the games.
I'm trying to think about how you'd find yourself in that position, because it is kind of remarkable the point of view. It's like when you release a game and there's no DLC that like on day one, you wouldn't be looking for anything then. But if future patches come out to be like, well, there's a new patch that's come out and there's new DLC that's coming out, and it's like the patches are actually like, and now the patches are DLC aware, so they're going to know to be looking for these things. And maybe as more and more DLC gets added, it's like, well, now there's more and more of these moments where you're looking for stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, the system we set up is starting to not work.
Yeah.
But nobody has the time and money and resources to rewrite the whole DLC system.
Because what you don't want to do, I understand the idea of like what you don't want to do is have a thing where it's just a series of flags. It's like, oh, we've introduced new items into the game. Let's say the Nintendo Switch T-shirt that Link wears in Breath of the Wild, right? And it's like, if you had that kind of thing where it's like, it's a new outfit, and we've hard-coded it into the game that it exists, but you have to buy it in order to unlock it. And somebody's like, I can just write a piece of code that can just turn the damn thing on. And they're like, no, we have to check to see whether it was purchased, and that the DLC agrees with the fact you've purchased the thing, and we've agreed with whatever. And we have to check to make sure that you have the right thing. Otherwise, people will just install these mods that will just flip on all the flags. And I'm like, right, that makes sense up until the point where you are checking all the time to see if somebody owns all this stuff or not. And that's weird then too, because what a negative impact it is on the game, right? And
then there's the weird thing that the spending obvious, like the guy says this, and I think it's I think I agree that this is more likely negligence than actual.
Yeah, they turn on their checks too many times.
Yeah, but rather than something nefarious on the part of Capcom being like, now they will have to buy the DLC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's just one of those.
That's not actually pushing people to buy DLC at that point, right? That's just pushing people to be like, wow, the game doesn't run well, I'm not going to play it.
Yeah,
it's as opposed to like maybe an item you could buy that would cut down like a lot of your grinding time or something, right?
Right.
That has more incentive because it's a thing you know about.
Like I would think what you'd do is you'd have it so that it's like on startup, it just looks to see if you have everything, if you have things installed, and if you do, it's like, oh, well, then I'll set that, and then that's the last time it checks. And then if you buy stuff, it's like, cool, you have to restart the game in order to actually, I bought something now. It's like, great, you reboot the game, and now we'll check it at startup, and we'll know that you've done it properly. And then every time you start the game, it always checks. I'm like, that could be. I don't know. I mean,
that's
if that's
probably
the right way to
how
do it
most checks work.
Probably.
But yeah, there's probably just something. It's like waiting for water to boil, right? If you stare at it.
Yeah. Anyway, in terms of checking for things that you probably shouldn't need to, Sony has kicked a particular developer out of the App Store, out of their... I don't know. Wait, actually, this is not... They may not have actually kicked the developer out.
Okay.
But they have removed several thousand games that this one developer shoveled onto the store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Thi Games, THI Games. They have made more than 1,000 games. That a lot of them seem to be variations of, jumping burrito, jumping pizza, jumping taco.
The Jumping Orange 3.
Yeah.
So that's the third in a blockbuster series, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Which and you will be surprised to know, but probably not very surprised.
Is it a really easy trophy
So yeah,
grind
there's
game?
so the so you can see like the trophies for these games. It's like, this is for jumping burrito. It's like jump 25 times, jump 50 times.
99.86% of people
Yeah.
have the platinum.
Everybody's got the
unusual
trophies.
For a lot of games.
Is this just to pump your stats?
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
No, there
So
are
they made a
people.
ton of these so people can get trophies easily.
Yeah, like there's some people like to trophy hunt in the sense of like they really like to get everything out of a game.
Oh, okay.
And then some people like to trophy hunt in the sense that they like to get their stats on the overall achievements
Right.
just really high. So there are games that you buy that are, especially if you can get them cheap, and are easy to get trophies on.
It's just for like,
Yeah.
oh, you started the game. Here's a trophy.
It's just to do whatever that you need to do in like maybe a couple hours to like really get like a platinum trophy, especially.
The game is owned by 5,114 people. 5,107 people have achieved platinum on it. That's just a dedicated fan base.
Yes,
is what that is.
you're absolutely right. You know, I'm thinking too badly about it.
All
I
these
feel bad.
trophies
I feel
are-
bad for the 7 people that couldn't stick with the jumping burrito, though.
A bunch of these trophies are just jumping.
They're all jumping.
They'll
just jump a
you
certain
just
amount of
jumped
times.
a number of times. Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like push a button and jump. Maybe you don't even have to push a button. You just wait for it to do it.
The thing, what gets me with this is it's like the myriad issues, right? Because it's like, well, they're removing all of these games off the store.
Yeah.
So clearly, Sony is in essence saying, we don't think these belong here because we don't think this belongs to the experience that we want our customers to have.
Right.
That is the nicest way I can say that, because from Sony's perspective, oh, you bought this game, we got a cut. 5,000 of you bought this game, we got 5,000 times that cut.
Right.
From a pure business perspective, who gives a shit if it's on the store? And who gives a shit if there are thousands of games like that and you are getting a cut of them every single time? What does it matter, right?
Well, perception.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like the business thing, that's just one aspect to this. Sony has to say, how are we being perceived by the rest of our customers? And is our customer base actively irritated by this kind of BS? So that's why they have to act to be like, we're going to remove things that you can purchase from our store, which is against the pure strain late stage capitalist ethos, right? That it's like, we're going to not let you buy stuff from here. We're going to take that away from your ability to give us money. So because they know that people's perception of the store is more important overall.
Well, yeah, because the one argument, the one gripe that everyone has about every single store eventually, because a new store won't have this issue for like a little bit, but then it will have it eventually, is the shovelware problem.
Yeah.
This is 1,000 games. They're probably cheap. They're probably on sale quite often, which means if you're ever trying to open up the sales tab to try to find stuff, you can't find anything.
And this is
There we go. There's all of them.
Wow, that took you a long time.
Yeah.
That's the official page of this.
So I end up like
Jumping lasagna turbo.
We were talking on the ChillPoint quiz about like, well, how many more games are there this year? And there's over 20,000 games that are now released on, or 20,000 brand new games were released, or I can't remember what that stat was again. It was just like, was it that 20,000 new games were released on Steam just last year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's new games. That's not that's stuff that came out in 2025.
Yeah.
And we take that as, oh, that's good. That shows the health of a developing industry, that there's room for stuff to come out like that. Because what we think of is the successes that help us enjoy the thing that is being made. We don't think about shovelware in that same way. And there used to be, this is going to sound so crass, there used to be barriers to entry.
Yeah. And
you didn't get like fucking Elsa and Spider-Man dancing in a movie theater.
I mean,
for 90 minutes, you didn't get that. They had to put some real money and some real effort and tons of people into making a film ultimately.
Like, it's an interesting, because that balance between sort of gatekeeping,
yeah,
and allowing anybody, in for no
we
thing,
call it the democratization of a platform.
but also, but on the other hand, trying to sort of mitigate things to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and the different platforms have come up with different solutions to it. None of them work amazingly well.
But they also used to have more barriers to entry. Like even Steam, it wasn't a thing where anyone could put a game on for a while.
True.
And then they did have Steam Greenlight as a thing that you had to like prove for a while. And it's always been, it's never not like a good thing that, so if anyone can publish to your platform, that's not like a bad thing in theory, because that does mean that there's the accessibility there of if you have something, you can put it up.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And that then becomes your problems of people who are putting up content that's like incredibly objectionable, perhaps,
or just the shovelware stuff,
or just shovelware stuff, or people who are.
It's like
how do you curate any of that? And there's so many extra problems that go along with that.
Yeah, we're in this point where, like you said, right? Nintendo starts a brand new eShop when they started the Switch, and everyone was like, "Oh, thank Christ," because that'll be. But the Wii U shop did not have a bunch of shovelware on it, but it wasn't around long enough, I think, to have a whole ton of stuff.
It did get some though,
but it was getting some, right? And everyone's like, "Okay, brand new store. They're going to start from scratch. They're going to build up this whole thing." And so we got to see a modern example of a game store starting from scratch, and saying they've realized their errors and they're going to make sure that they cut down on that. No, if you go to the Nintendo eShop now to look up stuff, you're going to find all sorts of things that are $189 that are on sale for 99 cents. You're going to find that stuff out there for money laundering, for like, I don't know what reason it's like, because it's like, it's 99% discount, so therefore everyone's like, oh, I'll have to buy that,
And then it's like, yeah, and then, but then of course the other aspect of that is story, like, the story we talked about, we've talked about before, I don't, or I guess it wasn't last week, but that people bring out a game and sort of being arbitrarily barred from app stores for reasons that are not explained.
And in fact, I saw that happen today. John Syracuse was sharing some stuff on Mastodon about how this guy was posting on Mastodon. He's like, I made this Sokoban style game back in the day for like whatever platform. He says, I'm porting it to iOS. And so he showed like pictures, he has screenshots of it, and as you're kind of like you're a knight and you're moving boxes around on a screen. It's Sokoban, right? We've seen that all before. He's programming this little thing, and he's like, it's been denied from the App Store because it was seen as like breaking a certain rule. And the rule, I'd have to bring up the thing to see what the rule was, but the rule was essentially bullshit. And it was like, what do you mean? Like it's just a simple game. There's nothing objectionable. There's nothing like weird in the background running or whatever. And then he said, "Oh, and I just got they just sent me another reason why it's been denied is that it has low quality graphics. That says low quality or
right.
reduced quality graphics on board." And he's like, "It's pixel art. Of course it has low quality graphics. It's pixel art. That's the style." And that was the thing that got me, is I'm like, right, when you have a gatekeeper sitting there saying, we believe this, but we don't believe that. It's always a human, because ultimately you get a computer to do it and they're going to screw it up even worse than a human. But humans are fungible. You never really know what one person's going to say versus another person. You kind of have to hope you get the right person sitting at the App Store to be like, oh, that's a game. And they go ahead and they say, yeah, you can have that. It's a game and it's not stupid.
But then again, the App Store also has tons of shovelware stuff. In it.
Yes.
So it's like that review process obviously is not ironclad.
No, because you have people just being like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You're like, it'd be nice to have some curation to say, no, you can't just, you are a publisher and you have 40 things on here already, so I'm going to let you put another 100 on there. It's like, I don't think should be okay
but
either.
Then curation becomes a problem as well, because it's like, are the people who are being the people who are highly rated, their games bubble to the top. Well, your game's only going to be at the top if other people highly rate your game, and people are only going to see it if it's at the top.
Yeah.
Or you get into other cases where it's like, oh, all the AAA studios get their games at the top. Is that because they're paying for advertising or anything like that? It makes sense in the sense of like, oh, it's Sony's store, so they put the Sony studio games end up being the ones you see the most often. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Same with Nintendo. If you're in the Nintendo store, you kind of expect to see the Nintendo games, right? Like,
and you also can't expect that saying, oh, well, we'll let the buying populace decide. And it's like, you clearly can't, because 5,000 people bought those games, and if they're all like, I love that this game exists, here, have a 5 out of 5 for this. This game is great. I'm glad that we have this. Like, right, because you're motivated by buffing your trophy score because of some weird dick measuring contest that you're doing that I still don't quite understand what the purpose of it is, but you're doing that, so therefore you're going to get many 5 out of 5s, and that's going to bump this stuff up the ranks. And it's like, that's also not great. And the opposite would happen then too. Somebody releases a game where it's like, oh, I get to play as a girl in this game, and it's like, great, you're about to get review bombed into the stratosphere. Like, we're gonna tear your game asunder, and no one will get to see it.
Stratospheres.
Yeah,
Is up.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
Oh, I see.
Bomb, 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 bomb. Blow you out of the stratosphere.
I guess it depends.
That's how I was thinking about it.
It depends on where you start, I guess.
Yeah,
whether the stratosphere
dropping
is
a
up.
bomb, or you bomb and you get exploded into the air.
Anyway, speaking of things that result in shovelware, there's a couple of stories. I'm going to kind of bundle these together.
Okay.
There's a couple of stories of some video game companies and tech companies take on AI.
Okay.
Oh, an AI slop. I don't really like the word AI slop personally, but now that I know that someone doesn't like it, I kind of want to just say it all the time.
You know, Microsoft doesn't like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this first one I thought was particularly interesting. This is Joseph Fares from Hazelight Studios.
And what did they make?
They made Split Fiction and It Takes Two.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and Split Fiction was definitely a game about AI.
So
kind of.
Yeah, so it's so this is why I find this kind of interesting. It's like he says, we've been working with AI for a long time in game development. The problem is generative AI. If an AI tool is helpful to get your vision out there, I don't see why you shouldn't look into it. But it's the generative AI that people are a bit like. It's hard to. He says like it's hard to answer. If you look at Midjourney, for instance, when it came out, it was so impressive, and 5 years later, the bar hasn't really gone up that much. Maybe this is the limit of it. You get someone generating a game concept and saying, "Oh, look what might happen in 5 years." But who knows? In 5 years, maybe it's just not going to be any better. Like maybe we've hit the peak of what it can do.
I don't think that's true at all, but okay.
He says at the end of the day, you still need someone who has a vision or an idea of what the game is. And I don't see AI taking over. I don't. But it is really hard to answer. Who knows what happens in the future? So sort of hedging his bets.
Yeah.
But like Heather was saying, it's interesting because Split Fiction is very explicitly the bad guy is a guy trying to suck the stories out of authors' brains to train a computer to write those stories. Like it's literally AI stuff.
It is pretty much AI.
But done in like a much more
evil way,
or a much more sort of scary way.
And he's not like this.
It's not subjects.
This guy is not like, oh, I'm a CEO sitting in the whatever, and I just let people make games for me. He's literally was the director of Split Fiction, so he's not shy of of the premise of the game that is very like down on generative AI. That's a
So anyway, I mean,
unusual thing to be hedging your bets like that when you make a game that says something that's very explicit.
I think he is it. And I do think this is, making the distinction between sort of the concept of AI as a whole and the sort of generative AI, I think is important. And, he's saying that, he's like, obviously we use AI for all sorts of things. And, depending on your definitions of various things. But he's sort of, talking about how, how it's useful for some stuff, but it's like he doesn't even say that he doesn't want it. He's like, it's not actually that, like, I haven't been actually that impressed.
Right.
I do think it's an interesting point to say, like, people do talk about a lot of stuff where they're like, oh, can you imagine where this thing will be in 5 years?
Yeah.
But like, some tech does just tap out for like a really long time, right? Like, before you can make anything go further.
The rule of thumb is generally that your first 80% of what you're achieving technologically, you can achieve quite not easily, but you can achieve in leaps and bounds. Like, you can see that first 80% grow and turn into the thing that you want, and that last 20% takes 80% of your effort. Right? It's like 20% of the effort for 80% of the gain, and then the last 20. It's like working out is the same thing too, right? Like having exercise and whatnot. The rule of thumb, I think, applies here because it's like, well, we went from having something that was like you could do content over a fill on Photoshop and fill in little bits and bobs here, to being like, we have this computer now that you can type in some words and it says, oh, I can generate you something that looks a lot like that. You go from like having Google's DeepMind, Google Dreaming, whatever the hell that thing was called, Alpha Dream, the thing that made a bunch of
Deep Dream, I think.
Made a bunch of dog faces. And people were like, I love this because it's computer generated art that is terrifying, and we like it because it's so unusual and it's not really anything that we've seen before, and we're all sharing it and talking about, oh, like, isn't this kind of amazing that what is this thing even thinking of? How is it identifying stuff? It's fun because it's very wrong. And the more right it gets, the more everyone starts to feel like, well, wait a second, that's not, I actually don't like that this thing can just, without feeling, without soul, if you want to ascribe that, can just make a perfect copy of this thing. And yet, as he said, it hasn't. These things have not gotten to the point where they're perfect, but they've gotten so close as to fool so many people. And I think that's where that's the thing to be afraid of too. Is it's like they're almost there. In 5 years, they have come along to a point where they're almost there. And that's terrifying.
I mean, part of me thinks that less people would be fooled if they didn't have... I feel like we have people who have focus diminishing and stuff because of the technology we put out. You don't read anymore, you scroll. And it's I kind of want, like, if you're constantly scrolling through stuff and you're just kind of watching a video half the time because you're doing second monitor content and you're doing all these things, then I think it's harder to notice when some stuff is wrong. Because
your
not
context's
paying
switching
enough.
too
You're
much.
not paying enough attention to know when something is necessarily wrong. It's like how when you read a sentence really fast, you might confuse the intention of the sentence.
Right, because if I'm reading like a long form article, sometimes I do realize that I get to a point where I start to skip entire paragraphs. Because I read the first part and I'm like, this isn't going to say anything interesting.
And you're skipping things and you're doing whatever. So you're taking in different information than if you were to watch something more intently. And I'm not saying like second screen content is bad, or even that like people shouldn't have like I know we all have our different limits of like we need like maybe something taking up another 20% of our brain to keep focus on certain things. But I do kind of wonder if you're constantly pushing out technology where everyone's on social media and just kind of skimming through things really fast, how are you expected to notice on a picture that you're just kind of pushing past.
Yeah.
If there's anything interesting on it.
It's sort of the technology for the times in that way, right? Like
Yeah.
it definitely helps. I mean, here's from an old school company with their opinions, Games Workshop.
Okay, what do they have to say?
So
All right.
Games Workshop has banned the use of AI in its content production in its design project.
Okay, good.
They say I like this. He's saying we do have a few senior managers that are experts in AI, and none of them are excited about it. We have agreed as an internal policy to guide us all, which is currently very cautious. E.g., we do not allow AI-generated content or AI to be used in our design process or in its unauthorized use or its unauthorized use outside GW, including any of our competitions. We also have to monitor and protect ourselves from a data compliance, security, and governance perspective. The AI or machine learning engines seem to be automatically included in our phones and laptops, whether we like it or not. It's saying we are allowing those few senior managers to continue to be inquisitive about the technology, but we have also agreed that we will be maintaining a strong commitment to protect our intellectual property. Because of course, Games Workshop is all about their IP.
Yeah, they live and die on
yeah.
whether their IP is making them money.
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, I haven't seen a lot, but I'm sure the style of art that like if you think about like White Dwarf magazine covers of like the Space Marines fighting each other and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure there are a hajillion versions of that people have gotten to have AI generated for them.
Which is funny because they this is the kind of, to take the other side of it, it's like this is the kind of thing where being able to take a corpus of work that's very narrow, like everything that Warhammer has, like Warhammer 40,000 or just Warhammer in general or whatever, and then being able to say, now help us, design some new poses for characters, a new artwork for whatever. It's like you're working off of your own corpus internally and you're using that to generate new art and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I could see where the utility would be there, but then all the artists who work for you will be like, I'm sitting right here.
Well, and then again we get into the question of what are the generative AI, other AI stuff. I am sure you could tell a while ago when Games Workshop models are often split in like the way they do the different models on the sprues and stuff. I don't know if they've actually said it outright, but it seems pretty obvious that they use some sort of machine learning algorithm to split it in the most efficient. It'll be because the splits will be like really weird.
Yeah.
They'll like curve around things and do stuff and trying to get the most. And I would imagine that there's an algorithm to optimize that, right?
Yeah.
But that's a different thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Though I love that kind of stuff though, where it's like, oh, we generated a brand new antenna for transmission of like Wi-Fi signals or something, and you look at it, you're like, it looks like a paperclip that's been bent 7 different random ways, and it's like, yeah, but it's 25% more efficient than just a straight line. And you're like, really? It's like, yeah, really. And it doesn't fold down, it doesn't pack well, but it does the job incredibly well. And how do we figure that out? It's like, we put it into a computer and then we let the computer make bends in the thing until it tried out 100,000 different iterations until it found the perfect one. And I'm like, I remember back in university in the early 2000s when I was in university doing my management studies. There was a management, what the hell was it called again? It was a really cool course, but it was like the salesman problem. That kind of idea. Or pipelining was another way to think about it. It's like, well, you have a pipeline network that goes from here to here, and you need to get so much of this product
right. I mean, that's
through the thing to the other side. How do you move it through the system? And you could put it in Excel and tell Excel with a bunch of formulas and stuff, here's how the layout is, here's the capacity of every single pipe, now solve for this, and then it would go ahead and do it, and you'd be like, like it was kind of madness to me to be like, you don't have to draw that out. So no, it's all math. And it's all math that Excel understands.
But it's, that's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
But
I love that stuff though. That's cool.
And as some people have pointed out, this take from Games Workshop does make a lot of sense because, of course, in the world of Warhammer 40K, one of the things that sort of destroyed humanity was like the Men of Iron, which were like robot AI things killing everybody for a while, and led to like 1,000 years of darkness.
Yeah, a machine thinking in the same way as a human. You know, the Butlerian Jihad.
Yeah, I mean, they were pulling in all that kind
From
of
all
stuff.
that stuff.
Yeah. And then finally, Dell.
Why?
What did they do?
Dell. Okay, Dell though, known for, I mean, Dell had some problems about 5-10 years back. They were like ready to go bankrupt. But Dell's bread and butter is we make big servers. We try to make big iron. So they're clearly got to be in the side of AI because that's where all the sales are now.
Sort of. So they're saying, so this is from their, people were noticing, because there's the whole thing we talked about last week that at CES, everyone was like, AI fridge, AI this, AI that, everything's going to be AI.
AI vacuum, yeah.
They were all bad things.
And they were mostly dumb. And people were noticing that Dell, in their presentations and stuff, were kind of quiet about it, about AI stuff, when everybody else was gung-ho. And so the Dell head of products, Kevin Terwilliger, I was like, it can't be, it is actually Kevin Terwilliger. Sweet.
It's a neat name.
Don't see that name that often.
He says, one thing you'll notice about the message we delivered around our products was that our products are not AI first. So that's a bit of a shift from a year ago when we were all about the AI PC. He says it's not that Dell doesn't care about AI or AI PCs, but it's just, so it says we're very focused on delivering upon the AI capabilities of devices. In fact, everything we're announcing has an NPU in it. That's the new
Neural processing unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we've learned over the course of this year, especially from a consumer perspective, is they are not buying based on AI. In fact, I think AI probably confuses them more than it helps them understand a specific outcome. So they're like, look, we've got cool AI capabilities in our things, but
and we're totally fine with AI.
and people can run AI on our boxes and it'll run great for you.
Yeah.
But
nobody wants to buy
in
it.
our experience, that hasn't actually been a very good marketing tool.
No.
So we're going to pull back on that.
And I imagine from the point of view of a
I'll take it.
Computer manufacturing company that doesn't manufacture any of its own parts. I shouldn't say any of its own parts, but the parts at the bare metal level, right? They make their own cases, I'm sure. They make their own whatevers. We have a couple Dell servers that are used. Here we have a couple of used Dell servers that are running stuff for us. But imagine from their perspective, it's like RAM costs how fucking much now? And I imagine that is because that's the other thing is apparently tech enthusiasts, like the hot rodders, essentially, the young men who like to build many PCs are now like, why would you want me to pay $900 for 32 gigs of RAM or whatever it costs now to get that? Why would we want to do that? I hate this. Why does this cost so much? I just saw a headline today on Ars Technica saying that large SSDs are now being snapped up in a hurry. GPUs are being snapped up in a hurry. The prices are rising on all of this tech together because of promises for the future that don't actually exist yet, the future that's not here. And these hot rodders, the PC builders, are all saying, what the hell? And realizing, hey, wait, you want to do this, you want to make all this for your future whatever, but I want to build a computer today. So I don't give a shit about your AI whatever's because you're preventing me from building a computer today. And it's like, you want to build a revolutionary base, this is a great way to do it, is tell people you can't have the thing that you said that you want this. And I think that's great. I saw, this is a tangent, but I saw somebody in chat reference the AI screens, or at least just the Walgreens did a thing where they replaced all the screens for their freezer coolers with all the doors in their freezer coolers with screens.
Right, yeah.
So that you could be like, oh, I can see what's inside because the screens will show me, and I don't have to worry about them getting all fogged up from when somebody opens them, whatever. I can just always see. And it's like, so why would they do that? So they can change the prices on the fly. That was going to be a thing that would eventually happen.
That was definitely more it.
That failed, and it's not going anywhere. But the question was like, well, why did this exist in the first place? And I did see a thing the other day, and someone will have to confirm this, that apparently the CEO of Walgreens also was running a company that turned freezer doors into screens.
Oh, that's a weird coincidence.
I mean, weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if he was running that company or if he was involved, like heavily invested or whatever else, that kind of thing. I did see the thing, but I'm like, that would make sense all of a sudden.
Could have
just been paid to do it.
Like that.
But I did see that, and I was like, was that the reason why?
Sometimes when you're trying to market a product, you pay for other people to use your product.
That's
right?
true.
In order to be like, hey, look, it's a thing. People.
So I encourage you to go look that up on your own and then come back into chat and tell me whether I was right or not.
I do. I saw somebody say that they didn't think like confusion was like a real thing, but like I can go for people who are not perpetually online.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you go and you look at a thing, you're like, oh, this washing machine has AI on it. What does that mean? I don't think I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe not the only reason why people aren't buying a thing, but I do think it's a reason that can be.
Yeah, and it's just like, and that if AI just starts becoming a shorthand, in consumers' minds, if it just becomes shorthand for sort of, it'll do weird, complicated stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And will break.
Or I don't have any real control over it. I just put my clothing in the washing machine and I press go and I hope it comes out okay. But sometimes it doesn't and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know why
I'm happy with that. That's fine. Yeah.
You know why we're going to be okay? Because there's a bunch of people who are young right now who think social media is a scam and don't want anything to do with it and don't even want an online footprint. Yeah. And that's why we're going to be okay. The rest of us are already infected and we can't get off the thing. But
the trouble is it's going to take about 15 years for those young people to really have the impact they need to have.
That's fine.
Yeah. So we have to like long term this shit.
My favorite thing with the Dell thing on our mod Slack, where folks that are wonderful mods will often post ChillPoint tips. And somebody posted the meme picture from The Good Place.
The
time
knife.
No. Of Michael from The Good Place, where he goes. He's like, Dell figured it out.
Right.
Oh, this is a bad one.
Right. Yes.
when Jason figures it out.
Yeah.
That one was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You should go watch The Good Place if you haven't. If you can.
It is a very good show.
It's a very good show.
It's really good, and you can do it by season 2 because like each season kind of ends with a good point, and each season starts with kind of like a good new one.
Yeah.
And then you also understand things like Jeremy Bearimy.
Yeah. And the time knife.
And why getting an 8 out of 13 is the best score you can get when you're grading on a curve.
So we've heard about we heard that GOG was bought out a week or two ago.
Really? I don't remember this. Okay.
So sort of.
You might not have been here that episode.
Maybe this is the one you weren't here. So it did get
CD Projekt owned it.
GOG is owned by CD Projekt.
Yes.
Basically, one of the or CEOs or whatever, one of the heads of CD Projekt bought GOG from the rest of CD Projekt and went off to just become the head of GOG.
Okay.
They still have a relationship with CD Projekt Red in that they'll still be publishing CD Projekt games,
but it's not an
or
subsidiary.
they'll still be selling, but they are no longer actually part. They wanted to separate the game development company from the game selling company.
That's fair. Okay, I can understand why. Yeah.
But the nice thing. Yeah, but the nice thing is theoretically, so is bought by like the guy who bought it was also one of the people who I think like he was one of the people who founded GOG which I guess then got bought by CD Projekt, and then he went for, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what
interesting.
the whole story was.
Okay.
But he is one of the original people and has reiterated GOG's commitment to, DRM free stuff and retro gaming and all this kind of stuff. And because there's been a lot of so he's been doing a couple of interviews, and there's been some stuff around it lately because it is something that's happening. And he was talking about, in terms of like GOG sort of expanding, right? And we've talked before about like how Epic has been just burning money fighting
trying to outdo Steam.
In fact, there was actually a story I just saw a story this week that users of Epic has gone up something like 150%,
right,
or 180% or something.
Right, but sales
in the past year, sales has gone up 1%.
Yes, everyone's there for the free shit.
Yeah.
I have many games on the Epic Store. I have never bought anything from the Epic Store.
Nice. You've acquired them legally through the Epic Store.
Exactly.
But yes.
But anyway, and we talked about like Amazon burned however many billions of dollars with their like 3 different attempts to make a Steam.
Yeah, and none of us noticed.
And nobody even noticed that they were trying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So GOG is in this position where they're like,
and so they're like, so GOG and Steam are kind of in competition, not directly in competition necessarily, but often games will be on both services, and you have a choice.
They're in the same industry segment.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're saying that he's saying attempting to match Steam like for like would be a bad idea.
Right.
He's saying GOG has already established itself as a storefront that goes in a different direction and likes to focus on older games, and its pledge to release DRM-free stuff. And he says GOG has its own strengths and really should focus on maintaining them and even strengthening them. There's no need to go after others. He says, despite this, Steam is winning with ease of use. And so it definitely could... GOG could improve in that area, but he's like, he's like, Steam is obviously Goliath. So any company trying to tackle Steve is going to have a very hard battle.
Right.
You say, we've seen Discord launch their store. We've seen Epic launch their store. Thanks to a lawsuit with Apple, we know how much it has cost them to launch against Steam. The fact that GOG is expanding, developing, and still kicking, I think it's a testament to the fact that GOG really has a space in the market with its own mission and of making games live forever. And saying when a company is trying to win the market, it needs to just be better at a certain segment. In this case, GOG, it's classics and modern classics. And our aim and our vision is to simply provide a superior service.
I think this is interesting because people are saying, well, both these groups can coexist.
Sure.
And I actually think GOG is they're in a more interesting position than Steam is. Because GOG is, we're going to go back in time a bit here, second-run movie theaters or video rental stores. That is kind of the position that they can find themselves in, right? Steam is all about selling you the game as it has come out right now, and the game will remain on the store for as long as it's going to remain on the store for, and then maybe at some point, it comes off that store because people don't want to maintain a Steam account anymore, or publisher changes hands 9 times, you have no idea what to do with it, that kind of idea. GOG being this is the place where you can go get the game that you missed in the theater, but you can watch it at home on your VHS machine, right? Like on your VCR. I know I'm mixing a lot of things here.
Yeah.
But it is that idea of you can take this thing home, you can get it after the fact. We're going to make this available for you after the fact. And I think the opportunity they have here is that they also only have to stock games they think are worthwhile.
So, I mean, this is the interesting thing. We were talking about, because we were talking about this earlier. I mean, GOG has effectively, like, not to say every game on GOG is amazing,
No.
but they don't have shovelware.
Yeah.
Because they've effectively, because they're limiting it to basically a curated thing, but they basically have a self curation thing of games that sort of were popular. I mean, they do actually put, like, new games come out on GOG as well, but
there's that idea of, like, you're not going to see someone's, like, you're not going to see the Jumping Orange 3 make its way to GOG, because the people at GOG are going to be like, no one is asking for that game 10 years after the fact, after that game was made and did whatever. Like, if the publisher said, we want to pay you to put this up on your site.
I used to have so much fun with Jumpin' Spaghetti.
Yeah, and it's like, no one, GOG does have ancient shovelware, for example, Tech War. Okay, that's good. But it's like, the sheer, like, the glut is not going to be there. It should not end up being there either, because there's no reason for it to really. There will be no motivation from a buying public to go to GOG to get it from there. And there's going to be no motivation for the publisher to say, I need to try to get this onto that service and make it run on, make my thing that is too old run on modern machines 10 years after the fact, 20 years after the fact. It's like, I know there's a whole thing about we need to be able to preserve everything that was ever made, and that's kind of the pinnacle, the peak of every video game that has ever been made. We need to have that backed up so that we can always reference it to say, look how important this thing was. And it's like, yeah, I get that, but not every service has to be providing that for every game ever, and it's not GOG's responsibility, I think, to do that for all the shit that got produced.
Yeah, actually, just quickly, I mean, not to call out Socratic Method in our chat here, he was like, they do have some shovelware.
Yeah.
Linked to this. Not only is this game not actually on GOG, this is the like wish list, the dream list.
Oh, I see.
Part of GOG.
William Shatner's
So
Tech
this was
War.
added by their community, and 1,927 people have voted that they want this game in GOG.
Now you know.
So I would put forward that this is not, in fact, shovelware. It's also not on GOG right now. But the Dream List, we talked about this before, but GOG has this cool thing they've been working on called the Dream List, where they basically, anybody can put in games that are not available currently.
Right.
I don't know if they have a strict requirement about that, but the general idea is games that aren't available, and then basically and then people vote on them.
Yeah.
And if it gets high enough votes, GOG will start investigating whether it can and be, it basically gives them leverage to talk to
whoever owns the IP.
Whoever owns the IP or a publisher or whatever, and be like, hey, you've got this game, you're not publishing it, you're not making any money off of it. We've got 1,927 people who are excited about William Shatner's Tech War.
Yeah, we know at least half of those people will actually convert to sales immediately.
Yeah.
Do you want to make do you want to make $5 times 1,000? Do you want to make $5,000 without having to do much work?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just let us put it out.
Yep.
But anyway.
But I just think that's really interesting, because it's like there will be limiting factors. GOG's growth is like, it will be slower in terms of acquiring stuff, and as long as they keep their eyes on the same mix, there's no reason for them to be in a bad state. The only trouble because the thing is, like, there will always be games that people will want to absorb into that service. Like, there will always be a market for those incredibly old games like Fallout 1 or whatever. There will always be a market for that kind of stuff coming out of GOG to be put into, that people in the future might be like, oh, I want to actually get a copy of that. And if there are no other places to get those games, we're back to the House of Abandonware and stuff like that, when people were like, because downloading games from there to be like, you can't buy this game anymore anywhere, so I'm just putting it up online for people. And then that, I think, was like, I imagine that's what inspired GOG in the first place, was like, oh my God, there's an entire site devoted to people just putting up copies of games the people own, but nobody's selling.
CD Projekt Red's roots are in burning CDs and getting copies of games for their market in which they could not do stuff. So I feel like that's just always been there.
The motivation's been intrinsic to the whole project to begin with. So I think that's very cool. Steam will see games leave over time potentially, and only maybe the good ones stick around. I don't know, but
And I think, like, if Steam, whatever, Gabe Newell or whoever is actually in charge of, I don't know actually who's like in charge of Steam.
the Steam department, yeah.
But I think, given the same question, I think Steam would also be like, yeah, we have no interest in what GOG is doing.
Yeah, we don't want to build DOSBox stuff for like really old
mean,
games unless they're top tier.
Yeah, and it's like we're like Steam is happy, GOG is like we don't want that market. You have that market, that's fine.
Yeah,
we can coexist.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to have to take out Steam. I think honestly having the attitude of we don't need to tear down others to build ourselves up is a good one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what you want to hope for with how business is. But when we think about how would you want capitalism to work? It's like, well, we can all occupy a little piece of the market. We can all make a little money for something, and we can all ensure. I mean, socialism is supposed to be that everyone owns their little pieces of production, right? And if the worker owns their piece of production, that means that you can sell something for some money, and you can go next door to the guy and buy chicken, and he goes next door and he buys some vegetables, and everyone can have dinner that night. Like everyone can afford to keep that shit going because not one person owns everything and keeps extracting wealth to be like, I have it all now. So yeah,
we own everything, so you don't have to. Actually, just a very quick little additional, as part of that, the AI hot takes or AI takes band of stories I was doing there. There's one other little story here that thought was funny. There's a game called Hardest. It is
Hardest?
Hardest.
HARDIST?
EST. So
Hardest.
Hardest.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, like getting really hard.
Yeah, it is a free-to-play roguelike card game which uses rock, paper, scissors rules but adds numerous new abilities, stopping time and summoning tsunamis. Anyway, it was put onto the Steam store July 1st, 2025. It has now been removed from the store. And the reason why it was removed from the store, the developer says that he made the game in like a couple months. He used AI generated imagery for like the cards, for the the art on the cards.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Says I made this in summer a couple months ago, and I thought to use AI because in university there's so much brainwashing on students, and all the tools are given for free, so I could just generate unlimited images for free.
Oh, this.
I have since realized AI is not actually free. It has a major effect on the economy and on the environment. Some AI companies can use this game just existing as a reason to get more investment into their AI companies, and that benefits no one, but rather sucks resources from the economy from hardworking people.
Interesting turnaround.
Ethically, the only logical decision was to delete the game from Steam. The girl I'd been dating for a month made me realize this.
Yes. The thing you did not need to point out. You didn't need to say that part out loud. It's nice that you did, because I think that, credit her with being able to say, it's like, oh, she's the one who changed my mind on this. I'm glad somebody did, and I'm glad that you also shared that with the whole class.
Yeah. It does have a very reading the. I have since realized that this was a bad thing that I did.
Yep.
I apologize for my words and deeds.
I picture he showed her his game, because that's what you do when you show off things that you've done, right? And she was just like, this is cool. This is why this is bad.
Yeah.
I think I have the original post somewhere. I shared it recently.
So anyway, good on you, mate. And he was like, I could have swapped out the cards for the images on the cards for other art, but to be honest, I didn't actually care that much about it.
That's fair.
It was a small game.
Where is it? did he have? I think he probably captured everything. But somebody did say, notice in chat that you had said was dating, and I'm like, was it is dating or was dating? And
The girl I've been dating for a month
I
made me
have
realize
been.
this.
Yeah, so
yes.
I have been, and I'm continually dating this person. So yeah, good. It's
I mean, we do change for the people we get into relationships with,
absolutely.
or people that we interact with. We get changes of opinions from.
And when
Right.
you
Like,
when you care
that's
for somebody
just-
enough, you'll have that conversation. You'll have conversations where you'll be like, I realize now that I'm saying things out loud that, oh, I'm not correct. happens a lot. Yeah. Good for this.
I like that. That's almost like a weirdly wholesome story.
Yeah.
We don't get many of those in that field.
I read that post. I didn't know what the game was. I just saw the post and I was like, oh hell yeah, this guy. That you came around to it. Somebody talked to you about it. You listened. You kind of locked in and you were like, okay, you know what? Then I'm just going to take it down. And I'm like, part of me was just like, I really just want to send this guy $20. And just be like, here's $20, not for your game, but for you to hire some artists to do some stuff for you. And like, I want somebody to get a crowdfund together for this guy and be like, let's get him $1,000 so you can afford to buy some real assets. And then I was like, I could be giving $20 to some stuff that actually fucking matters.
Well, I mean, speaking of stuff that really matters.
Yeah.
Lego Pokemon.
Oh yes.
So they have
They have walked away from Mattel's Mega Construct stuff, and
and we talked
Yeah.
about this a couple months ago because they announced this a while ago. It was just like a Lego like Pikachu tail or something, just to like woo. But now they've shown off the first 3 sets, and to be fair, they are pretty dope.
Yep.
There's
Fine.
there's an Eevee.
The Eevee looks a lot like the Mega Bloks Eevee.
There is Pikachu.
The Mega Bloks Pikachu actually looks better in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But you can change out the tail so you can get like the heart-shaped tail or
Right.
the straight edge tail. So I'll give them the trans rights one.
And then there's this monstrosity, which is, it's a triple.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't personally like the look of it, but I do think it's neat. I think what's better is the bonus you can get for buying it.
And if you you get, Lego does these gift with purchase things,
Yeah.
and so this is like a cool box with all these badges in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, made of Lego pieces for would be the Kanto region.
I mean, can we get a side by side, like a good side by side of what their Pikachu looks like versus what the Jumbo Pikachu that Mega Constructs makes? Because this is okay.
I do think the other one was better in terms of the way it looked. In its face, I think. It's been a while since we actually worked on that one, though, I suppose.
They did make a few different ones. That one's a little squished, isn't it? I think that one's the Jumbo one, yeah.
Is that him?
Yep, that's the Jumbo one.
So so we got that versus.
There's a standing version, which might be better. I don't know. But yeah, so we got this.
We got this. So this is the Nintendo one.
Yeah, the new Lego one.
Or sorry, this is the new Lego one, and then that's the Mega Constructs one.
Yeah. They are pretty close, actually. I mean, the red dots are a little more pronounced, but maybe that's just flattening from the maybe flattening from the way the
I
angle they
remember
took
it being
this photo
rounder
at.
for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's different versions. Is there a running Mega one?
Probably.
There's a motion one. There's a motion Pikachu.
There have been a few motion.
Oh, that's a really good looking one too. Yeah.
Yeah, the motion ones are interesting.
Mm-hmm. We were building that one and we got the base done. Remember?
Yeah, I like the motion ones, but we keep getting them for a desert bus, and we just get the base is so complicated.
Yep.
And so it's so hard to explain. I don't know. They definitely make his cheeks more sort of balls rather than just kind of flat plates.
Yeah.
But anyway. So anyway, these are coming out, And as Heather was saying, the Kanto region badge collection is pretty sweet too.
It looks really neat, and I know part of that for me is like nostalgia because Gen 1 was a game I played. Part of it also is just like the box. I like a good box.
It's
Can't help it.
It's a set of Lego badges, and then the box is also made out of Lego.
Yeah, cool. And it's really cool.
So you could probably just construct this out of a Lego set yourself if you could just get the pieces.
It depends on if they've made special pieces for it or not. Because like I know Lego does tend to stick to regular pieces, but they do make some special pieces for certain sets.
Right.
So I know you'll be happy to know that you can in fact just get this box. You know, it's a gift with purchase with the really expensive giant thing. But if you want, scalpers have already bought all of them up.
I was like, that's not true. I've been to the Lego store.
Yeah, $300
US.
Yeah, or 250 US.
Sick.
Great. This isn't even like.
It's not worth that.
And these aren't even like ship early March. Like these aren't. This is the whole like reselling your pre-order thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is why we can't have nice things.
if I could just get the box, and that's mostly just because I don't want to actually have the big Lego set. If I could get the box, I probably would. But not for that. I will not pay a scalper.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it is a gift with purchase, so you have to buy the. Not only you have to buy it, but you have to buy the $650.
Yeah, you have to buy the specific one,
yeah.
And that's fine. I don't actually need these things. It's okay. I'm a crafter. I can figure out how to make my own badges if I really want.
$650 though for the 3 evolved starters, right? That's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something like how many pieces?
It is
a lot of pieces.
It is definitely one of their like 18 plus sets.
I haven't spent $650 total on all of the ones that I've bought for Desert Bus.
6,838 pieces.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it is 3 Pokemon and then also a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, like the Jumbo Eevee the 2 Jumbo Eevees I bought, I got on sale that one year.
Yeah.
And they were $40 each, which is why they would have been about $80, $90 a piece. And they just were on ridiculous sale for some reason. So I bought 2 of them. And like, yeah, I think the most I've spent on a set has been $70 from Mega Constructs. That's the fact that it's like I can get a big Charizard that's kind of like that one, but maybe it's not 2,000 pieces, 1,500 pieces, however it's going to be. The big Charizards they have are they're coming in, I think, at about 600 pieces or something like that. So much more intricate. Clearly, maybe that's why they look more rounded and more.
I mean, I've seen a number of people really enjoy the little Game Boy one, and that's a much more affordable set too.
That thing's cool. I don't think I have an actual Game Boy. I don't need the Lego one.
Getting the Lego Game Boy has nothing to do with having a functional Game Boy in your house. Although I think I did see somebody who
have modded them.
They've modded them.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of how much things cost, how much is $5?
$5 is $5.
You'd think so.
No, it's $5.
But this is a recent interview with the.
You need a different price point to ask.
The developer behind.
Get me to say the other ones.
The developer behind Peak,
who we know as Aggro Crab.
Aggro Crab's great.
And he's talking about talking about pricing the game.
Yep.
And sales and stuff. And now this is silly, but there's a kernel of truth to this.
Yep. I hate how true almost everything here is.
He says, in a player's mind, what does it mean to spend $5?
Well,
that's $5, right?
Yep.
Well, what about $6?
Oh, that's $5.
Oh, that's still $5. $4?
Also $5.
Also kind of $5. $3? That's $2.
Yeah, closer to 2.
And $2 is basically free.
Is definitely. I don't know that I would go with free, but it's basically free. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've got these tiers. $12. I mean, that's basically $10.
That's almost 10.
$13
that's 15.
is $15. Yeah. And we found that $8 is still $5. It doesn't become $10. $7.99, still $5. So $8 is going to be $5 is the biggest differential we could find in pricing. So that's what we found it optimal. Basically, he's saying they wanted that. This is why they ended up selling for $8.
Yep.
They're like that's the highest number they could get that still felt like $5.
Yep.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I would argue a little bit because I know what they're doing. I know what they're saying, and I definitely agree with it. But I would argue that for me, $8 on a game that I don't know, that I don't trust, actually feels more like $10.
Agreed.
And $8 on a game that I'm pretty excited for does feel more like $5.
Yeah. There is definitely the thing of $5 is $5. I'm like, yeah, I think we all kind of get that because I think everywhere in the world you have a $5, €5, 500 yen. You have a kind of like
a bill.
You have an element of currency that is discrete. It is a single item for that one thing. And then when you see something like $3, because you get used to the idea of cash currency, right? And so that's fine. But when you see something like $3, because it occupies a space that doesn't actually apply to a discrete unit of currency, you have a harder time ascribing a value to it. And so you don't think of it as three $1 bills or three $1 coins or three 100 yen pieces or whatever. It's a little more amorphous, and saying $3 is more like $2 and $2 is basically free. It's like, right, because if you're an adult and you're thinking, should I spend $2 on this thing or not? I have convinced myself to buy games at $2 because I've thought I could go out today and spend $6 on lunch. I could just buy this game for $2. Like, I'm going to eat a meal. It's going to be good and it's going to be over, but I could buy this game for, like, buy Saints Row 4 for $2.19, and that's basically free.
But on the other hand, there is that basically free thing. There is that thing of, like, there's a big difference between free and
a dollar. Huge difference between free and a dollar. Absolutely.
Once you've had to sort of engage your cost-benefit analysis part of your brain,
yeah,
it's a whole other deal.
But I think that is weird because the idea of like, would you pay $2 out of your pocket for this thing? And you're like, that's a nothing expense. I can totally do that. Would you pay 99 cents for this thing? And be like, that's practically free. Why are you charging 99 cents for it? I'm not going to pay 99 cents for this.
It's so weird.
It should just cost nothing.
And basically, and the other part of this, which is also interesting, is he's talking about, like, you know, $4 is also kind of $5. Basically saying if you're a developer and you take your $5 game and, like, put it on sale down to $4,
yeah,
you actually probably won't see much in the way of additional sales.
No,
like, that's not enough to cross that sort of threshold for most people.
Yeah, because the threshold of value is like you've reduced it by 20%, but you only reduced it by $1. Mm-hmm. And that dollar is not going to be enough to move people on the margin. But if you're like, I'm going to put this thing down at $2, you'll get a lot of people buying because they're like, oh wow, that's a massive discount.
Sales are kind of weird because, like, you can have just the percentage-based sales, or the thing that I've often heard is people hate tax so much that instead of doing something like a 10% off sale, you say that
save the tax
sale.
Yeah.
And then people get really into this idea, and this maybe this only really applies to Canada and the United States, because I know in other countries tax is built into the price.
Yeah.
But we don't really do that here. And
I think some states do that as well.
I think the idea of, like, knowing that you can see the products on the shelf are the price that they say they are is so much more appealing.
Yes. Which is why I've never understood why we haven't adopted a pricing strategy. Like, we haven't just said it should be signed into law or something to just be like, the price on the shelf is the price that you pay, which means that tax has to be calculated into the price in the first place. So do that. And we know what that'll mean is it'll mean that everything will get calculated in a way that isn't exact. It will be up to the 99 cents before the next dollar, obviously. We know that's what will happen.
Yeah.
But it will feel better to people to be like, I walk up to the counter and I pay the money and I've paid for it. And regardless of whether the thing required tax, because groceries in Canada do not require tax, but some things that you buy at a grocery store will get taxed because they are not technically groceries. But when you start to go through the whole perceptual pricing exercise, $8 saying, well, $8 is practically $5, and I'm like, That I think is that is a point where you assort people into different categories. You're not going to have a bunch of people agree on that. We both agree that it's $10.
Yeah. I look at it as more of a, okay, you enjoyed this game
Yeah.
and you're playing it later. And in a couple months when someone says, oh, how much did you pay for that game? You're not going to remember the exact price.
You're not going to be like, yeah, it was under $10, I think.
Yeah. So you might say, if it was $8, you might say, I don't know, it was like $10. Or you might have been like, oh, well, it was really good. It's like $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's kind of how I see it, as more of oh, did you pay $2 for this? Well, you paid money for it, but you're like, it's basically like nothing.
Yeah.
Is how you're probably going to describe it to someone later.
And my perception is that $16 is kind of like $15, but not really. Like I start to feel really like about it. Not like it is the same. It's like it isn't the same. There's something off about that. 17, 18, and 19 are all $20.
Pretty much,
And
yeah.
that's weird because it's, again, we're like $17 being $20. I'm like, but you just said that $7 is probably more like $5 and $8 is more like $5. It's like, why do those break down whereas these break up? And I'm like, it is weird. And I don't know if it's how we teach people rounding or what it is.
I think for us, it might do with the fact that we have a $5 bill, a $10 bill, and then a 20.
Probably, yeah.
And then, yeah. And then, by the same token, on the larger stuff, there's the thing of like, I mentioned a while ago that like, I got notified by like, Deku Deals or whatever.
Yeah.
That was like, hey, this Switch game you want is on sale. And I'm like, oh, hey, I will get that. And it's like, oh, it's 30% off. It's $70. I'm like, that's the price that, like,
That's what it costs.
but then it's like it's down from $100. But in my like basically I'm at the point where 70 and 100 are effectively the same.
They're the same thing.
It's like that didn't actually encourage me to buy this anymore.
But I could buy the
But-
game and lunch
but-
today.
If the game was $10 and 30% off, now it's only $3 off.
Now it's $7, but that's a
Are
lot.
you-
That's a lot more interesting
Okay.
Yeah.
to me.
It's $1 normally, but it's 30 cents off.
Then
So
I don't really care.
70
Yeah,
cents. Why
like
would I
there's
give a
there's like
shit?
certain price points where you're just like, it's too small, so you don't care regardless. It's too high, so you don't care regardless.
Yeah.
There's a medium you
Yeah.
need to hit.
Yeah.
There's a weird percentage, and again, it matters, and like it matters in this situation because it's a video game, right? And so I have like I have a set idea of what a video game should cost.
Yeah.
And so when I see it, that it's like, oh, it's on sale. Now I have an idea of where it should be, and I'm like, oh wait, no, but the prices all went up, so that means no.
Yeah. No, Beej is like
Anyway.
an incredibly price conscious person. So anything being on sale, like he feels like he's winning.
Yeah. But I will also be like, this is 55% off of the normal price. 3 months ago, it was 60% off. I think you'll do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's the worst.
yeah, where you're like, I could save $3 more if I just wait 3 more months.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than something being on sale.
Yeah.
But knowing that it could have been more on sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I do work with the idea of like, oh, I know, for instance, Capcom will put its games on sale like practically every 3 months or whatever. They'll almost always have something seasonal on the thing. So if a game pops up that I'm like, man, I'd like to get that, I used to feel that whole thing of like, oh, it's a real deep discount, I should pick it up now. And now like, I'm not going to play it for like probably 6 months though, so I guess I'll just wait till next time, which is honestly a good thing.
I mean, you were talking about when we were going back over 2025, you were talking about you got the list of games you bought and then games you played in your journal.
I'm doing really good
and
this year.
It's gotten better. Wait, this year you mean by 2026?
Yeah. I've bought 5 games so far.
Wow.
And I have played. I've just finished up 3.
Wow. That
And
is
I haven't
so-
played the new games yet, but I've just finished up 3 games and only bought
That's-
like 5. And
That's so productive.
some of those games on that list are games I do want to play next.
I haven't played or bought any new all the games that I've been playing are games that I was still playing in 2025.
I think Well, and I think the other thing that's interesting about this, and I know we need to move on and finish the show, but we'll bring up Silksong again because that was like a storm of uncertainty. People didn't know when it was going to come out. People didn't know if it was ever going to come out. It started to feel like because you keep getting announcements, but they keep getting like pushed away or pushed back or whatever. When it was actually announced and said it's coming out on all these systems, hooray, hooray, and it's going to cost you $20 US. And there was just this thing of I'm having a moment of cognitive dissonance because I feel like I'm getting an incredible deal on this game. I'm paying $25 Canadian or whatever for it. I mean, I didn't. Heather bought it, but it's that thing of. But that game shouldn't cost that because we felt that way about Hollow Knight after playing. It's like Hollow Knight shouldn't cost this much. It should be a much more expensive game. But the idea of like, well, Silksong's coming out. It's like, well, clearly they're going to price it at indie AAA level, right? They're going to price it at like
40.
Be $40, maybe it'll be $50, but everyone will feel like that's the right thing, and they price it at 20, and you're like, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm feeling trepidatious because I feel like it's wrong somehow, like something is wrong with the pricing. Not that I'm getting scammed, but there is, I think, that thing goes off in your head where it's like it's the too good to be true.
Yeah, but I also own like 10 different Hollow Knight t-shirts, so I feel like they're getting their money out of me regardless.
Right, but there is that thing of...
I mean, it also annoyed all the other indie developers. They're like, you're ruining it for the rest of us.
And there's a lot of... I think there's a lot of that goes into it too, where it's like when you're pricing something, you're thinking, if I price myself too low also, because it doesn't matter if it costs anything at all, but it's like, if I price myself too low on this, people will not be confident in the thing. So that's why you have luxury pricing on a lot of items as well, is to be like, we need it to, like fucking Grey Poupon and Grey Goose vodka, all these Grey things, Grey Goose vodka, like all these things exist in a space because people said we can take this very normal ass thing that is not that fancy, it's not that interesting, and we can position it as fancy, we can charge a luxury price for it, and people will pay for it because they believe that expensive means good, expensive means care.
When I was a web developer, I worked for a place that did wallpaper, really high-end luxury wallpaper,
right?
Like, and William Morris and all these fancy designs and all this stuff. And I remember saying, and these are like, these are expensive per roll, and you have to get a lot of rolls in order to do a house or do a room, right?
That's right.
But there's the thing with like nobody ever brings their friends into their living room they've just redone the wallpaper on and talk about how cheaply they got the wallpaper.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the psychology of me buying a game is also changed depending on whether or not I think Beach will also want to play the game. Because then there's more value to that, right?
Yeah, two copies for the price of one.
I know that if we buy a copy of like Tears of the Kingdom, I know he's going to play it as well.
Yeah.
If I know that I'm only going to play the game, and then it all becomes like whether or not my interest is higher on it.
Yeah.
It's also dictates which platform I buy games on, because I know Beach is more likely to play the games if they're on the Switch.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did I get mad though the other day when I was like searching through prices for Yakuza's on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And I saw something come up on Yakuza 0 because I was looking at Yakuza Kiwami 2 on like...
Oh, is it that like on PC it's super discount?
Well, it is, like, because it's been out forever, right? And like even on like PlayStation, sometimes these things will get like dropped on price. But here's what killed me is that I was looking at Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is a game key card, and it's priced at like $49.99 or whatever it is, at like VGP or PNP, like the two Canadian stores that sell physical. And while I was looking at that, I scrolled down on the page, and it showed people also bought, right? And one of the things that popped up was Yakuza 0 for the Switch 2 as a game key card, and it was marked down to like $39.99. And I'm like, I do not believe I paid $40 for that game. I believe that I paid $70 for that game. And it's the same fucking thing. It is an empty fucking card. And the only reason I bought it because it was like, it's going to be the same price either way. And I was like, I got fucked. I should have waited until I was absolutely ready to play it and then gone after it instead of buying it early.
The one hard part about the sales mentality.
Yeah.
Is if you see a thing that you just bought go on sale even like 6 months later.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's the sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you buy it full price so that it'll be on sale for someone else.
Exactly.
We thank you for your service.
$30 is not going to break my bank.
Anyway,
I do like Aggro Crab a lot. They're a lot of fun to watch on their media stuff and their.
Their Kiwi community and PR
And the-
person.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
They did a great read of that whole thing, I think.
yeah, they did a little video of it. It was
nice.
good.
And Peak is a very cool game. Like
Yeah, it's
people
fun.
seem to be really enjoying it. So
They made another one that I can't remember if it's out or if it's coming out soon, where you all ride around on that thing that vehicle that Ian really likes.
The Mars rover?
a mini
No, you stack boxes with it.
Oh, a forklift.
Yeah,
forklift.
We would have been here for a very long
I
time, I
know.
realized. Holy shit.
It's like a forklift racing game.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even say which Mars rover. Curiosity. We all know it's Curiosity, but anyway.
Anyway, that's all of the news that I thought was worth talking about today in the world of video games. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. If you haven't seen this week's episode of ChillPoint, which is the 2025 quiz, where Beej and Graham are being quizzed by Kathleen on how much they remember about various things that happened in 2025. Spoilers, not very much. But anyway, we will talk to all y'all later. Bye.